The tragedy of Judy Garland. A star destroyed by fame. Judy Garland was one of the most iconic voices of the 20th century, a gifted performer whose role in The Wizard of Oz forever etched her into film history. But behind the magic and glamour was a deeply troubled life. From a young age, she was controlled by the ruthless Hollywood studio system, fed pills to keep up with grueling schedules, and pressured to be perfect. Judy Garland wasn't destroyed by failure, she was broken by the very fame that made her a star. 1. Early stardom, early control. Born Frances Ethel Gumm in 1922, Judy Garland stepped into the spotlight before she could even form full sentences, performing in vaudeville shows by the age of 2. By 13, she had signed with MGM, the most powerful and image-conscious studio in Hollywood's golden age. And while her voice was considered extraordinary, her appearance didn't fit the industry's narrow standards. Studio executives branded her as not pretty enough, calling her ugly, chubby, and difficult to market. They micromanaged everything, from her diet to her smile. To control her weight and energy levels, MGM doctors administered a dangerous pharmaceutical cycle, amphetamines in the morning to keep her performing, barbiturates at night to force sleep. It was a regimen that didn't just sustain her career, it sabotaged her future. 2. The Wizard of Oz and global fame. Rest was a luxury she rarely received. Between marathon filming sessions and vocal performances, Judy's body and spirit were pushed to their limits. And that was only the beginning. In an era when studio contracts gave executives near total control over their stars, Judy Garland became the poster child for Hollywood's exploitation of young talent. MGM, the studio that discovered her, treated her less like a human being and more like a product to be perfected. Every detail of her appearance was scrutinized, from her weight and teeth to the sound of her voice. To control her figure, studio handlers put her on a strict diet of black coffee, cigarettes, and appetite suppressants. When exhaustion set in, they gave her stimulants to keep her working, and then sleeping pills to force rest. This toxic cycle of pep pills by day and sedatives by night would evolve into a lifelong struggle with addiction. Judy was barely a teenager. Despite the abuse, she delivered a performance for the ages, her voice carrying the sorrow and hope of Over the Rainbow with haunting sincerity. But even that iconic moment came with a cost. The song was nearly cut from the film, and Garland was reportedly devastated by the possibility of losing it, a moment that, even at 16, revealed just how deeply she understood the importance of her work. Off-screen, the emotional scars continued to deepen. She struggled with low self-esteem, body image issues, and the relentless weight of being Hollywood's good girl. She was told she wasn't pretty enough. Not glamorous enough. Always not enough. As she grew older, the pressures didn't fade, they only evolved. Failed marriages, public breakdowns, and repeated stints in psychiatric hospitals marked her adult life. Even as she captivated audiences with performances in A Star is Born and on the concert stage, Judy was often battling personal demons just out of frame. She once confessed, "I was always expected to be the happy little girl with the perfect voice, no matter what was happening inside me." Judy Garland died in 1969 at just 47 years old, a legend whose legacy was built on raw talent, but marred by the brutal machinery of the studio system. Today, her story is seen not just as a tale of stardom, but as a cautionary symbol of what happens when a young artist is commodified, manipulated, and denied the right to simply be human. 3. A life in chaos. The pressures Judy faced weren't just physical, they cut deeply into her mental and emotional well-being. MGM's prescription of amphetamines and barbiturates, meant to control her weight and energy, quickly turned into addiction. For Judy, these drugs became both a crutch and a cage, fueling cycles of dependence that haunted her for decades. Behind the glamorous facade, she wrestled with deep insecurity, anxiety, and depression, a battle made worse by constant studio surveillance and manipulation. Her personal life spiraled as well. Judy endured multiple marriages, miscarriages, and the crushing weight of never feeling good enough, both to the studio and herself. 4. A comeback, and more heartbreak. Despite the setbacks and personal demons, Judy Garland's passion for performing never faded. In 1954, she made a powerful comeback with A Star is Born, earning an Academy Award nomination that reaffirmed her incredible talent and resilience. 7 years later, in 1961, she delivered the legendary Carnegie Hall concert, a performance widely celebrated as one of the greatest live shows in music history. Yet, behind the standing ovations, Judy's health was deteriorating. Financial troubles piled up alongside legal battles, divorces, and relentless stress. She was working tirelessly, not just for art, but to keep her life from unraveling completely, haunted by debts, addiction, and a past she could never fully escape. 5. The final years. By her early 40s, Judy Garland was physically and emotionally drained. Years of substance abuse and relentless pressure had taken a devastating toll. In 1969, while performing in London, she appeared visibly frail, her once powerful voice and radiant spirit noticeably dimmed. On June 22, 1969, just 12 days after her 47th birthday, Judy Garland was found dead from a barbiturate overdose. The official cause was ruled accidental, yet her passing became a haunting symbol of a life spent chasing applause, but never finding true peace. Despite the tragedy, Judy's legacy endures. She remains an icon of raw talent, resilience, and the tragic cost of Hollywood's golden era. Her story stands as a poignant reminder of the human toll behind the glamour, the price paid by a star who gave everything, yet lost herself along the way. 6. Legacy and reflection. Today, Judy Garland is remembered not only as a brilliant entertainer but also as a symbol of the countless stars who were crushed under the weight of an unforgiving industry. Her life tells a cautionary tale, a stark reminder of what happens when Hollywood demands perfection from deeply imperfect people. She was a child molded into a product, her identity shaped and reshaped to fit the studio's vision, often at the cost of her own health and happiness. Behind the dazzling sequins, the radiant smile, and the golden voice was a woman who never stopped singing, even when no one truly heard the pain beneath the music. Judy Garland's legacy lives on in her timeless performances, but also in the conversations her story inspires about mental health, addiction, and the human cost of fame. Her tragedy is etched not just in history but in the hearts of those who recognize the price of Hollywood's glitter, and the need to protect those who dare to shine. She remains a legend, her life a beautiful but heartbreaking symphony, forever echoing beyond the spotlights.